What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Neeks Sports Podcast Ep41. This is the post-lockdown, catch-up the post-lockdown review. And I'm here, of course, with Ramsey, Kyle, and Javern. How's everyone doing on this Sunday afternoon?
Not bad.
Yeah, it's been exciting. I think the last time we did the podcast, it was a quiz, which of course I won. Normal. I'm always right about fucking Premier League. I'm also right about Martial and Rashford. I thought I was going to start with that because Kyle and Ramsey, you like to get on to me every 2 minutes. You like to bring up a statement that I made back in about 4 years ago now. It's about 4 years ago. We obviously was taken out of context because you thought when I said league, you thought I meant Premier League, blah blah blah. But we're not going to go over that. Started this season, we said, Lukaku's gone, Sanchez gone, can Man United replace the goals? And I was confident Rashford and Martial can do it. I mean, I wasn't even counting on Greenwood, this is a bonus, isn't it? And they've done it. 15 goals each in the league, 20 goals in all competitions. Still got potentially, I think it's 11 games left to go in all comps. If we get to the Europa League and FA Cup final, 5 guaranteed games in the league, if they remain injury-free. I mean, I'm not surprised, but I'm very proud of them. I don't know. You lot tell me. Are you surprised? You must be surprised, isn't it?
I'm more surprised that we had COVID, which changed everything really. Because prior to this, Rashford was going to end on what? 13 goals? 14 goals, and that was it. And case done, case closed. And then, obviously, United had something to do with the COVID coming in, and all of a sudden, there's a pandemic. Pogba's back, Rashford's back, Bruno's been on fire. Martial's now scoring from outside the box. Greenwood's now appeared and is now a clinical striker. Something's gone. Because no one was seeing that. What was that about? You was like eking out last minute goal scorer Scott McTominay with the winner and all this sort of stuff before lockdown. All of a sudden, things are blossoming now, isn't it? So it happens, isn't it? Bit of luck on your side.
A lot. I remember in the chat, Carl, I was like, man's done his job so far. 14 goals, and obviously you don't like to be specific, innit? No, but you said 15, so until he gets 15. So I said, let's wait till the end of the season. Because maybe he'll play the last game of the season and get the extra one. The season ain't ended yet, and he's already got the extra one. So I just want an apology, Kyle. I want an apology. Anika, you were right. I was wrong. That's what you want to say. Say that, please.
You know what? I'm going to have to interject here. The season should have been done already. Okay? Let's see.
15 goals in July. We're in July,
I understand where this is going. They said what they said in it, but the season got stretched out. Rashford got his time to come back and get his goals. So fair credit. But obviously, the season ain't done, so he managed to get those goals. But if it was a normal season, I guess then he probably wouldn't have done that. But it isn't it. It is what it isn't. The ball's round and the pandemic is real. So here we are. Just delayed a few things.
Over to you, Carl. Over to you. No excuses, please.
What? Excuses for what? I don't have nothing to say. I didn't say that they would or wouldn't.
Well, I'm just saying. You also didn't say we would or would. Whether I was going to be right or wrong about Pogba, but you don't. You never shy on bringing that one up. So please, speak to it. Speak to it.
Well, technically, it's all a write-off.
Technically,
it's all a write-off because when I spoke to you last before lockdown, he was sitting on 14 and he was going to be out for the rest of the season. There's no two ways about it. He was going to be out for the rest of the season. So that was it. Season done, cut short. He didn't make it. Simple as that. I'm looking at it. He didn't make it. Martial wasn't going to make it because the team was excited. Pogba wasn't going to play for the rest of the season as well. Pogba's back was gone. Pogba was clapped out. We saw him posting videos of him in the hospital bed looking all drunk. Like Pogba was done for the season. So this is all a write-off. Everything here is a write-off. Whatever happens, Man City beating the Liverpool is a write-off. Laporte back, fit 100%. Like, it's a write-off. Everything's a write-off. It don't matter. Nothing counts. I don't care. Nothing counts.
I think you're just saying that.
It's just all preseason friendlies for next season. That's what it is. Preseason friendlies.
I think you're just saying that because Barca's getting touched in La Liga and they're about to lose their title. I think that's why you're trying to write off everything.
Are they currently losing or?
Oh, no. They're just losing in general. Like, they're just dropping. Real Madrid's on seven wins in a row. 7 points clear. Obviously, Barca got a game in hand. So I'm just checking the Liverpool score. What I got for fantasy football purposes that I don't support them. Why are they still in there? This is ridiculous. Liverpool's so good.
How long is that game gone? Is it almost half time?
Respect Uncle
Water break.
Respect Papa Wenger. That's what I can say. 25 minutes. If they don't get 100 points, anyway.
I said respect Papa Wenger. They already lost that game to Watford time ago. They can't speak to Wenger.
Respect, innit? Because people that like talk about draws or how many draws, Liverpool just drawing, losing, drawing up the place. So, respect, innit? Actually, before we're going to come back to football. I want to start with obviously what we all witnessed. I saw the whole thing. I don't know if everyone else did, but what we witnessed in the F1, absolute carnage. First race of the season. Left like Ramon, he was all over the place talking about Australian GP and we're clear in Austria, middle of Europe. Because Australian GP is usually the first of the season, but because of I guess what Man United's fault, why there was a pandemic, it got delayed, and now we're starting in Europe. Seven races on the calendar at the moment. They're going to add some more as the weeks go by. They've doubled up Austria, doubled up the British GP, Silverstone. Italy is the 7th, I believe, and I think they're going to double that up as well, and then go to like Brazil, Dubai, etc. I think in the end they probably have about 13, 14 races for the season. So it's not that truncated in terms of compared to what a normal 20 race season. And in the past, to be fair, they've been shorter F1 calendars, like 8 races, 10 races. So all in all, but of course there's differences in terms of the fact that they're going to be doubling up back-to-back races at one circuit. So if a team is advantaged at one circuit, it's likely to benefit them. And if they're disadvantaged at one circuit, it's likely to obviously disadvantage them. But yeah, first race back, absolute carnage. Race ended with 11 cars on the track. It was a mess. I'm not gonna lie, it was a mess. But I think it's what we needed because if it was just 20 cars going around, no overtakes, blah blah blah, it's a bit boring. But after all that time we've waited, I think we needed something exciting, and we got it. So yeah, I'm gonna start with Kyle. What's your take on the first race back?
First of all, it's not what we needed. There was fantasy points on the line. Many a man got kicked out of the race. It's not what was needed. It's not what was needed. Even if 20 cars remained on the track, you could still have an abundance of overtaking battles on the track, wheel to wheel racing. It could still happen, but it don't have to have 11 cars left on track. What was it? 11 cars kicked off.
9 cars out, 11 left.
Jesus, man. Jesus, man. What an absolute mess, man. What an absolute mess. And you know what? Something told me that this was going to happen. From the moment we heard that Hamilton got a grid penalty from a decision that got re-looked over from qualifying from yesterday, the day already started on a Debbie Downer. People fuming at the decision, angry at Red Bull. Max Verstappen takes the first knee, and everyone's good Shane, good Shane, laughing at Red Bull. Only in the end, right at the end, to come back at Hamilton to get a 5-second penalty to cost his. I mean, it was a mess. I'm not gonna lie, it was exciting. It was exciting. It was a spectacle. But me, for someone that likes to watch motorsport racing, I like to see far more like clean racing, like everyone there to the end.
Someone as dirty as you on the track, I'm surprised you like to see clean racing. Practice what you.
Whoa!
Practice what you preach.
Whoa, brother! I am as clean as they get. You can call me the Michael Schumacher of the go-karting circuit, bro.
Don't make me bring Harry into the chat. Don't make me bring Harry
Bro, I'm telling you, I'm as clean as they get. But it was a good race. It was a good race. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm not a fan of this doubling up on circuits. Absolutely not. Like you said, if a car is beneficial on a certain track, they're gonna gain benefits over everyone else because their car is suited to that track. There's a reason why we have one of every track throughout the season, 20, 21, 22 races, changes from year to year. But I just feel like it's unfair on everyone. Like I just feel like it's unfair on everyone. And for me, no matter who wins it, in my head, in my records, in my head, this season is just written off as void. I don't care who wins it. It could be Charles Leclerc that wins the season. Is written off. For me, nobody's winning.
It won't be. But
What are you saying, Kyle? But
one second, John. I'm gonna say it goes with. I think all the sports. We're going to talk about football later. When you got no fans, 5 subs. Then you got Champions League and Europa League played in one city, one stadium, one leg. Like it's mad. Everything's changed, isn't it? But in 20 years' time, on the record books, whoever wins it is gonna be there. When we're dead and gone, and people are just talking about this pandemic, like remember that time when they couldn't leave their house for 3 months? It's gonna be there. 2020, that person won it, innit? So because we talk about all these titles. Obviously, Schumacher's got 7. What's the guy's name? He's got 4. Is it 4 or 5? Starts with F. I can't remember his name now. It's gone out of my head. But I don't know the situation for all those seasons. I have no idea what's happened. Where that person got 1 over here, 1. I don't know the context. You just know they got 1 in it. So of course, we can talk about it now. But for me, everyone's at in the same position. For the season started in the same context. For me personally, and obviously that only counts if Hamilton wins. If Hamilton don't win, then I agree exactly with what you said. But before you come in, just to clarify, if anyone that watch it, Bottas won the race from pole. Hamilton finished the race in 3rd. No, he finished the race in 2nd. Sorry, finished the race in 2nd, but he had a 5-second time penalty for crashing into Albon in the last couple of laps. So Leclerc was promoted to 2nd. Lando Norris was promoted to 3rd by a 10th of a second. And he also got the fastest lap on that last lap to actually get 3rd. So well done to him. Well done to McLaren. Sainz finished 5th behind Hamilton. Vettel, I think Vettel was 10th in the end. Is that? Vettel was 10th in the end. And Max Verstappen was out. Ricciardo, Stroll, Magnussen, Grosjean, Russell, Raikkonen, Albon, and Kvyat. Javern, go. Javern? Nope. Javern's gone. Ramsey, what did you think of that?
Yeah, it was mad. It's before the race started, in my head, I felt like, should Red Bull get off to a great start this weekend with the remember, I don't deal with if, buts, and maybes. Yeah. But should Red Bull start off with a good start this weekend, then they could be onto something for the limited amount of races we have this season. And it was looking like it could happen. It was generally looking like it could happen. And then, it was a disaster in the end. It was an absolute disaster. And it may be something that they can't recover from in the long term, in terms of points gained. This is a massive one. Obviously, Max went early. And then Albon looking like, again, even then, he looking like when that safety car restart, you could put money on him winning that race. Like he had everything. He looked like he could go win it, but his eagerness and a Hamilton, I guess a Hamilton not giving him enough space. But more so, like when they on that specific incident when they crashed, it was a case of yes, Hamilton didn't give him enough space. But sometimes as a driver, you don't really want to give man a whole car length because you think you might be able to get away with it. Because if they didn't touch, then no one's saying nothing, innit? It's carrying on, innit? It's just that unfortunate incident that they just touched. And then
definitely Hamilton's fault. Definitely Hamilton's fault.
Yeah, but Albon, I don't think Albon needing to try and do it there. And, I mean, I guess you got to take it when it comes, innit?
Inexperience, a bit of eagerness. We saw the kind of reverse at the end of last season where Hamilton was trying to get past Albon, and it was just eagerness. Because if you waited an extra lap with the pace that you had, or the next corner, you would have got past him anyway, and it would have been a clean overtake. But as you said, the overtake's there, and you're thinking, "Let me take it now," because
you never know, it might go, innit?
But Hamilton was in the wrong in the end.
But I have to say, he got man like Charles Leclerc, because it was a terrible, terrible weekend looking like for a Ferrari. The qualifying was poor, looking like it's going to be one of them seasons again. We're not going to get anywhere. And this is kind of what you get for just doing your thing on the track, doing your thing. Stay clear. Don't need to force it. And sometimes, people say, you're not good enough. You're not making enough overtakes. Rare. But sometimes you got to let the man them take each other out and do your thing. Because all of a sudden, my man's cruising through in second place in the end, like overall. Hamilton, Albon, all the drama in front of him. Verstappen early on. Lando Norris there and then not there because they're trying to get as high as they can, have blood pressure. And you just ease it, do your thing, cruise through, and you think, look at the end of the race, you think, man just ended up in second place. Not really because I did anything, but because everyone else, you know what I mean? So, you've got, it's luck, definitely, but sometimes you just have to just sit there and wait, especially whilst Vettel's down there just, just cleaning up, a top 10 finish.
This man, Vettel, what a fall from grace, man. It's just, it was funny because watching the qualifying yesterday, and they were talking about the end of last season and how much mistakes he was making, and he goes into the first race of this season. He has 3 months to get over it and think about it. And the first race of the season, didn't get a good qualifying, partly due to the car. Because you think Leclerc finished seventh in qualifying, and there was a few places down. Granted, he could have finished maybe 8th or something like that, but the car wasn't very, very fast. But in the race, have you not learned from all your other errors and all your other mistakes? It doesn't seem like he has, because again, the crash that happened with Sainz, who's actually he's going to be the teammate, Ferrari's new driver to replace him next year, is from that race, from that clash, why he ended up down where he was. I'm like, stay out of trouble. As you said, stay out. It's not every minute overtake. It's not every minute try and force the issue. Stay on the track, stay out of trouble, and a lot of times the race will come to you. What happens is you end up being the person that brings the race to everyone else because you crash, safety car comes out, and you're the one who's stopping it. Everyone's like, let me get a free pit stop. Honest question. I'm going to come to you in a second. Carl, is Vettel done? When I say done, I mean, is this potentially his last year in F1?
No. He was signed for another team. It won't be a top team.
Okay.
But I think he will go elsewhere. I think at the moment, as much as he's declined, and as much as he's definitely a shadow of himself, I think this season in particular, he's soaking a bit. Because I was reading something that he said, like a little interview and a little something that he said, and he was saying that how he's very surprised that Ferrari are replacing him. They thought he thought that they were on the same page, and he feels that he's good enough to race for them and basically lead them to glory. So he's very surprised at it. So I think he's a bit sour and he's a bit upset that they're getting rid of him. And because he knows his future, I don't think he's going to be given 100%. I mean, even if he was to give 100%, it's not enough. But it's going to be even worse this season. Hence why the poor qualifying, the poor race. And I just think that his head's not going to be in this season. Wasn't he absent from practice as well? Because apparently he was sick. Apparently. He was. Yeah, he was absent from the practice session, and they said that he didn't turn up because apparently he's sick and he's recovering at home. So he was feeling under the weather. So apparently he wasn't very well. So I don't know, but I don't think he's going to be all there this season.
All right, Javern, what did you make of
Yeah,
that?
sorry about that.
What
My phone just said it was too hot to work.
did you make of exciting stuff?
Yeah, so just a quick one, just to address what Kyle was saying, um, before I get into the Vettel situation. Right now, this is the best they can do from the season. Money has been spent. The season has to go on. So if races have to double up, they have to double up. I don't think we'll see the same result on the next race. There may be some safety cars because obviously the track is known to destroy cars or whatever. But I think it'll be a different result. So it won't always be the same. Anything could happen. So you can't write off because they're doing it on the same track. Vettel now, the guy's done. Whether he's sick or not, that's not how you go. Don't have a sulk. You're paid to do what you're paid to race. Just race. Even if it's your last season with them, show them that they're wrong, innit? Go and be good. But after that shocking display, the man struggled to get up into 10th. I don't know what's gonna happen to him for the rest of the season. I don't know what's going on for him, but there's the guy, he's done now. He's finished for now. Yeah, he may go on and win some other races, but I don't see no challenge from him anyway, with the way how things are going for him. So that's what I think of Bell. And that
Go on.
that mistake from him today, it just shows why Ferrari are probably just moving on from him. Like they've given him time. He's had time. He's had good cars. He's bottled leads that he's had for how long? Whether or not Red Bull had Ferrari had questionable race strategies. He's had leads that he's thrown away. So yeah, it's a shame for him.
We've got a few questions actually from the Twitter faithful. Let me bring them up, see if I can share this screen. Let's see. What was I doing? There we go. All right, so question from I want to say Factor. I can't remember how to pronounce the name, not gonna lie, sorry about that. Question says, can you read that? Yeah, it's too early for the season. Can we see 4 teams behind put the challenge on Mercedes? Obviously, we've seen that in the last few years, it's just been run away. I know you at one point, obviously, Ferrari had a good car last year, or was it the year before? Obviously, the year before, and then they were leading. Yeah, they were leading going into the break, and then the madness happened at the German Grand Prix and Silverstone back to back, and Hamilton went on and won. Can you see the likes of Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren? Really, I can't see McLaren really challenging. Racing Point, they've got a decent car this year. But can you really see anyone putting a challenge on Mercedes this year for the constructors, if not the drivers' championship?
No, and I tell you, why I say no, because even if you had someone, say like Racing Point or like Ferrari, if they were able to construct and put together a car that was on par with Mercedes, they don't have the drivers. Hamilton is head and shoulders a better driver than anyone else on the circuit at the moment. He is. I'd say the closest to him in probably potential, like on their best days, is Max Verstappen, but his consistency isn't there. Max Verstappen is probably the closest to him, but he doesn't have the consistency. He doesn't have that level-headedness. And because of that, they would have to construct a car that is better than Mercedes. So unless you have a car that is better than Mercedes, ain't nobody touching it, because it's very unlikely that you're going to see Hamilton have consecutive bad days. He might have one day, like say today, he finished outside of the top 3, caused a collision, got penalized for it, got 5-second penalty and crossed the line second, but ended up finishing fourth. I mean, that's considered a bad day for him. How many times are you going to see that from Hamilton? Probably on average, probably like once every 10 to 12 races. Like he's that good and he's that consistent. So to best Mercedes, you're going to have to construct a car better than them. Does anyone have a car better than them? No. Is anyone close to having a car better than them? No. So Mercedes is going to win. It's in their hands. It would have to take a miracle, some sort of another COVID invention for them not to win. Like, in all honesty.
On that same note, then, Ramsey, I'll come to the next one from Byron. Why do you think Ferrari looks so much slower than they were last year? Considering it's the same regulations as well.
Yeah, I just feel like they just had problems getting this car ready from the start, and if anything, the brake has probably been better for them to try and improve things. But from all the talk that was coming out in like February and March time, it just wasn't. Things were just sounding like they just weren't ready this year, like at all. So like, I think it may end up being a better season. Like it genuinely now may end up being a better season, especially with the fact that usually by this stage, Mercedes are a certainty. They've almost won it by now. You know what I mean? We're always talking about one of them have won the first 5-6 races. You know what I mean? So all of a sudden now things have just started to change a bit, and it probably means that it'll probably get tighter. That's why I probably disagree with necessarily what Carl said in terms of that. Just because of the season, just because of where we are this season. We've already seen what's happened today. I think there's more to come of this because I just don't think people are necessarily ready. You can tell engines aren't ready. The pit lanes aren't ready because they're releasing tires too early. So like everyone's a bit rusty, isn't it? And we may see that for the next 2, 3, 4 game weeks races. So I think it's going to be, and I think Red Bull will push Mercedes. Well, they'll get closer this year than last year. I think Ferrari may sort of get closer, in terms of points, but I don't think it'll be anywhere near a challenge. But I do think, especially if Red Bull can get off to a good start next week, I think then we could see much more of a challenge. But yeah, in terms of Ferrari, I just think it's weird, especially with Vettel knowing Vettel's going to leave after a year. I feel like they just kind of say, you know what, this year is what it is, and then next year with our 2 drivers who we may, it could be a long-term thing with Leclerc and Sainz, however long-term is in Formula One. Then that will be I think that'll be their main focus.
Yeah, I think with Red Bull, I think today obviously is very disappointing for them, and it's about getting a car that's gonna. I don't know exactly what happened with Verstappen. I know he lost his power, and the anti still kicked in. But if they can get a car consistently finishing the race, Verstappen is good enough to, I would say, for him to at least lead the rest of the pack. How you finish third, at a minimum. Albon is a much better, as far as I'm concerned, much better driver than Gasly. And Gasly was there for the first half of last season, even a little bit longer coming exactly, but he was definitely there for the first half of last season. And effectively, that cost them a lot of points because he was barely finishing in the points at times. And at best, he was finishing 6th, where I think Albon can actually challenge, for podiums or top 4 finishes. The rest. Leclerc, he will be definitely up there, but I think what will cost Ferrari as a whole is Vettel. I don't think his head's going to be in the game. You know that you're not going to be here. You know you're not going to win the championship because your car ain't good enough, and you're not good enough. So you have to try and motivate yourself to what? Just get podiums or win some races, which you're probably not going to do because your car ain't good enough. So what are you out there for? So you're not to prove. There's no guaranteed future for you. As Carl said, is he going to get a top job? He doesn't. This season is not going to determine, I think, what he does next in F1, in the sense that it's not like, if he has a good year, then Mercedes are going to take him. Regardless of what happens, I can't see him getting a car. Not next year. I think next year will be sorted, but maybe the year after. It's going to be a mid-table, mid-grid team, whatever it is, which I don't know if he's even going to be motivated for that. So I have to really question what his role is for the rest of the season. Because as long as he's getting paid and staying alive on the track, what more use does he have? I don't know. Javern, last question for you.
Mhm.
LCFC Boyer, why is Lando Norris so beautiful? I'm happy for Lando Norris. I'm not gonna lie.
I didn't get to see the last 5 laps because all my links froze. Probably poor internet connection because I want to blame it on that and not.
I hope it's our legal link.
Yeah, they're legal. I think it was just the internet on my phone.
Fair enough. Understandable.
I'm happy for safe space
because him, Ricardo. I feel like there's one other, but they're good. They're nice characters. They bring a bit of character to F1 where you get a lot of racers who you can think Hamilton, Raikkonen, Bottas. They're just very dull. No like their interviews. I think they just do it because they have to, not because they want to. And young British driver, British team, finish on the podium. I'm happy for him.
Ricardo's going there next year, isn't it? So it'll be them two. next year.
Totally. Is McLaren going?
Yeah, he's going McLaren next year. So
that's gonna be. They're gonna be their team meetings are gonna be just pure jokes. That's gonna be funny. But I tell you what, that would probably be the most harmonious. From looking at the most harmonious. We call it partnership in terms of drivers. But usually there's a bit of animosity in it. Right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to win. Whereas obviously Ricardo being senior as well, Lando Norris younger, and they've already got kind of a good bubbly relationship. Yeah, I think that'll be interesting. But even today, when it's so funny when Hamilton, his team came on the radio and was telling him to stay off the curb because it's damaging the sensitivity, whatever. And he's like, yeah, but look at Bottas. He's on the curb more than me. But they only told Bottas the same thing. It's crazy.
Wait, but how does he know what they're telling Bottas? He can't hear.
No, I know. But instead of he's not thinking they're telling him for his own good. He thinks they're telling him like maybe to slow him down, keep him off Bottas, so there's no crashes. So he's like I'll come with the curb, but only if he comes with the curb first. And it's like, yeah, well, your car might end up in the gravel if you don't come with the curb.
And also, Hamilton knows what Mercedes are like. He knows they'll do that. They'll tell him something and tell Bottas something else. He knows it.
And because they're not gonna like. They may not come out outright and say, "Do not pass him," because they don't want to create anything. So they'll say different stuff to keep the gap. We're gonna turn down the engine because overheat or something like that. Because but look at him, he's speeding that. Hamilton wants to win. Hamilton wants to win so bad. And you know what? I think because this is the last year of these regulations, he's desperate to win because he doesn't know next year Mercedes might not have the best car. Everything changes. Red Bull pulls something out of the hat, and he's scrambling to get that 7th championship and then possibly 8th. So he's like, yeah, we need to do this right now before anything changes.
Nah, you know what? Mercedes will still be the best next year as well, man. And I tell you why, they've got the biggest minds in the industry, man. They've got the best brains. Look at the steering wheel that they come out with. So innovative. Like, nah, man. Them guys down there in the mechanics, that down there in the garage, they're geniuses, man. No matter what the regulations are, they'll come out with some spectacular way to come out with the best car. They always do, man. I said it before. They've got the best team there, man. Not just drivers, but in terms of the whole team, everyone involved. They've got the best, man. They'll be there again next year. Don't worry.
It's mad because so Hamilton's basically just come out for his interview. After the race, and he was saying it's not been a great weekend for me. Yesterday was entirely my fault, and today I got a penalty. But it is what it is. It didn't destabilize me. It was just an unfortunate scenario with Alex and me to come together again. I'll just take whatever penalty they feel and just move on.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Alex Albon, to be fair, because like 2 races now, back in the last season and started this year, where Hamilton has taken him out, and obviously there's going to be pressure on him to get points because that's why they got rid of Gasly.
Yeah.
He wasn't getting up, he wasn't looking fast enough, and of course there'll be a bit of a disclaimer. He was fast, it was just he got taken out, but. If next race he's not fast enough or whatever it is, that's 0 points from 2 races. So how do you argue that, innit? So there's pressure on him, but I think he can do it. I'm going to move on to football. Now I'm going to come to Javern first. Chelsea, top 4 race. Are you worried? Or are you Chelsea in a better position post-lockdown than they were before lockdown?
I'm worried. The win against Watford was good. We needed that after that terrible display of defense against West Ham. That we should comfortably still be ahead of Man United, because Man United right now, they're on fire and they got a really good team, and that team is capable of going all the way. So we need to win every game. We can't afford to lose or draw. So now that we've lost that game, we're now in a bad place, because now we have to win, or else Man United will pip us and we will stay 5th. So that's why I'm hoping that they hurry up and ban City, if they do ban City. So if we do finish 5th, it's okay. Because I was thinking, like, at the beginning of the season, obviously it was a write-off. Wherever we finished, we finished. But we managed to somehow get into the top 4, and we've pretty much been in there consistent throughout the whole thing. So it's like, fans' expectations change. It's like, okay, we're in there, so let's just stay in there. But I do need to remember that it's Lampard's first season, but the inconsistency defending is horrible. And hopefully that gets addressed. We have bought attacking players, good, but we need to do something with that defense. We need to find something, do something ASAP. I need to see a defender being signed. Marcus Alonso ain't it. I don't know what's going on in defense. All it is, it ain't it. Kepa, it's all a bit bleak at the back there, and that's what it cost us.
In the last game against Watford, he put Aspilicueta on the left, which he has played a lot, to be fair, in the past. Reece James on the right, and then he went with Zoom and Christensen as the centre backs. I think the biggest issue when it comes to defence, not the biggest, but maybe a big issue, is that I'm not sure Lampard knows what his best defence is, because especially the centre back. Yeah, but whatever it is, you need to say, well, you know what, they're all bad, but these are the least worst out of all my choices. And he doesn't, because the centre back pairing is one of the most important, obviously, with the keeper there on the whole pitch. Get that wrong. It's about communication. It's about knowing what your defenders going to do. You step up together, you drop back together. There's all of that. And
but we thought he had that with Rudiger, but the last game it was all over the place. Like, we just don't know what's going on. Like, maybe they're worried about Kepa. Who knows? Who knows? Like, there's so much going on right now in that defense. I think Lampard, that's what he needs to work on next. We have a big problem in midfield. I don't know what Jorginho's done to Lampard, but he's done something.
I mean,
we all know
you got a lot of midfielders to choose from, innit? So someone has to get dropped.
Yeah, I know. And I think that the fact that Jorginho can't come on, Gilmore's ahead of him, it shows something's going on there. I don't know. I think we have a very big depth in midfield, and I think we need to sort that as well. I think maybe one of the midfielders, or possibly 2, need to go, because if that doesn't happen, then we're just going to keep chopping and changing midfield, and then we're not going to know what our best midfield option will be, because we just keep chopping and changing. So that needs to get sorted out too, but mainly defense. Defense need to get changed and looked into heavily. God knows when the season will start. Next season will start, but it needs to change. I think that's will be our problem. But yeah, I'm very worried. Like I said, I'm just hoping that City get banned from Champions League next season, so at least we have something.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, me personally, obviously, I'll take Champions League how it comes. but I need to get top four, regardless of City, because especially as Man United, like if it was Chelsea, it might be a different thing. If it was Man United and your rivals Man City, the only way you get in the Champions League is because of like the technicality. It's like, yeah, Man City kind of gave Man United their place, and that
I hear what you're saying. I really do, but where the times that we're in now, it doesn't matter. Liverpool, like, it doesn't matter. We have 5 subs. It doesn't matter what happens this season. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. Like you said earlier, when you look back at it, let's say Man United go and win the Champions League next year because they go into it. No one's gonna be like, oh, they won it because Man City got things. They won the Champions League, like you said.
One of these two will definitely, rather than Carl, they like to drop a.
Yeah, they could say that because obviously they're clutching at straws because they, all fans are gonna do that. They're gonna find something, to get at you. But at the end of the day, you get that. I don't care how it's done. Then they shouldn't have spent all the money. Then it's not my fault they spent all that money and found to be cheated. It's not my fault. So it doesn't matter. Like, you can throw whatever you want.
It's true. Ramsey, also on the top 4, Leicester. I mean, they have like fallen from grace. I mean, the win they got against Crystal Palace on the weekend, that was much needed because they were just falling like a rock. Couldn't see, many couldn't see where the next one was coming from. I don't know if Vardy could see where the next goal was coming from. What's their chances? Are you confident for them of getting into the Champions League next year?
Still think it's going to be tough for them. Still think the fixtures are still not in their favour. This is probably one of their easiest games and one they had to win to stand any chance of making it, I think. So I'll still be surprised if they make it. If the top 4 is the Champions League places, that is, I think 5th place they can get that if that's available. But yeah, it was a must-win game. They had to win. And you never know. That's the thing, is winning breeds confidence, So, now that they got the win, it will give them a little bit more of a lift to try and get points elsewhere. And they could start putting the result. The thing is, they got the position. And sometimes, you always say you rather have the position over the fixtures because the position, you're there. You've got the points in the bag already. So as it stands, they're 3rd place. They're in control. You never know what's going to happen. But, they still got to do their job on the pitch.
Speaking about the pitch, obviously Arsenal next. Are you confident of taking some points off of them for us, please? Because it ain't for you. You got nothing to fight for. So it's for us.
Am I confident? No.
You beat Wolves away from home. You beat Wolves away from home.
It's a good win. And
very true. You must be confident. Come on.
Nah, I'm not confident. Listen, Leicester's a good team. Leicester's been better than Wolves this season. So,
but not recently, not on form.
No, but they got a win now. They just won 3-0. So, when they play good this season, they're better than when we play good this season. So we have to be careful. Like, you got to take it. We got to take it one game at a time for us. It was a good win, but the focus is on now. I mean, everyone's playing 2 games a week, so there's no rest for the wicked. Straight in Tuesday, another game. So it won't be easy. And Leicester desperately, as much as we want to win, they want to desperately win as well. So yeah, there's no guarantees. But the win against Wolves was good, man. Definitely, you take it. And the thing is, with the Wolves victory for Arsenal, it was a dogged win. We don't really get them. Usually, we have to try and play great football, but against Wolves, we just hang in there. But we hung in there with a bit of an ease. They only had 1 shot on target, so we kind of they had the possession, but we kind of stopped them from getting past getting into our area. So the progress is there, definitely. It's going to take a little bit of time to get off.
That's still 0-0.
Even lack of threat gotta go. Must be happy about that.
Everyone's contributing, man. I mean, 9 9 different goal scorers in the past 4 games. Everyone's putting in a shift. Everyone, people are scoring their first goals of the season. Saka, Ceballos, Xhaka, Willock. We're getting goals from everywhere now. So finally, we're at a stage at the moment, as it is right now, where we're not just relying on one man to score all of our goals. Obviously, it's good when you have that person doing it, but this is exactly what I think Arteta wants everyone to be producing, and it looks like the Saturn's working with a 3-4-3 at the moment.
It's
You've
looking at
seen that fixture list, man.
well, Chelsea's
Yes,
next 3
true.
games are looking decent. Like these should be wins. You got Palace.
You say
Okay,
should.
Palace Norwich, for me, 6 points. As far as I'm looking at it, 6 points. Sheffield United is not guaranteed. So if you drop a point there, I'm hoping we can capitalize. But everything's a should in it because our fixtures on paper are win. But we went 1 down to Bournemouth yesterday, and that should never happen either. So,
But you got it 5-2, so
I know.
It could have been a 3-3 at one stage.
Could have been. But yeah, look at those fixtures. Chelsea next 3 games. I'm expecting 3 points to be honest. Not gonna lie. And then the last 2 games, Liverpool and Wolves. I'm thinking, all right, those might be games where Man United can capitalize. But the way Liverpool's playing since they won the title, and the Chelsea might just win all the games. The position, isn't it? It's the position.
They could. They actually could win every game.
They beat Man City, and they should have.
If they win their next 3 games, that's 4 wins on the bounce going into the last 2 games. They will be confident. They will be confident to get the 2 wins at Liverpool and then Wolves at home.
If Leicester lose all the rest of their matches,
what do I have Leicester? Leicester had,
especially with Wolves. If Wolves are out of it, then that game may just be a walkover. If Wolves are out of it and they're focusing on Europa League.
For me, I'm looking at Leicester to drop points against Arsenal. If they draw at best there, then Man United can close the gap to 1. I believe it is. Double check. Leicester's on. Yeah, Leicester's 3 points ahead of it, so we can close the gap to 1. Bournemouth, I expect them to win. Then Sheffield, I would expect them to win. It's not guaranteed. And then Spurs and Man United, the last 2 games. So I think if we're within 2 of Leicester going to the last game of the season, then it's in our hands. So as much as it's in Leicester's hands. Kyle, from the outside looking in as well. For you, who are the 2 favourites? Well, 2 favourites to get the 3rd and 4th space.
Man United, Chelsea.
Well, Wolves done, yeah. Leicester's in 3rd.
I understood the question.
I was just double checking in it because maybe you thought I was saying get 5th place or 6th or not be banned from that.
Nah, I think Leicester will only win. How many games they got left? Is it 5?
Yes, 5 games.
Yeah, I think they've only got 2, maybe 3 at the most wins in them out of those last 5 games. So, yeah, probably only 2 wins. So, yeah, I think Leicester will drop out of that top 4. The thing is, Wolves could actually potentially go on a mazy little run and win the rest of their games. The only problem is that it's not enough to get them past Man United because Man United are going to win the rest of their games. Like their games are easy. Their games are dead easy. So yeah, they could win all their games, but are Man United going to drop points? They needed to beat Arsenal. That's what they needed to do. They needed to beat Arsenal. If they had beaten Arsenal, they'd be on level points with Man United in the same position because they beat Arsenal, and then Leicester are now playing Arsenal. And like you said, if Leicester get a draw, and then they go on to beat Sheffield, then they'll be 1 point behind Leicester also.
Yeah.
It was literally that Arsenal game. It was all or bust for them, and they didn't win. So yeah, it's a bit bleak.
I think Wolves really want that Champions League spot anyway.
You say you don't think they want it?
I think they from what they're doing, they need it because they're trying to, especially with their not the manager, the one that's running it, Mendes. Is it Mendes?
Well, he's the super agent. He's linked to the club.
He's getting all these players over to there. Obviously, he needs to get that club to a Champions League status, so he literally can control Portugal and be like, look, I have a team that you can easily get into in the Premier League as a stepping stone for whatever. He's literally going to be the best. He wants to be one of the best agents ever. And if that means his team needs to always be in Champions League. So he's like, all right, you sign for me, I get you into Wolves. That's literally to shut out all competitions everywhere. all agents in there. So I'm gonna sign to this guy because I get Champions League football instantly. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So he needs that Wolves team needs to get into Champions League. So it's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much.
I was gonna say, I think Wolves need to win their next 5 games to get Champions League, and it's not easy. We've got Sheffield away, Everton at home, and Chelsea's on the last day of the season. They, for me, have to win all those 5, considering everyone else's fixtures.
When's this ruling coming out? It's early. It said early July, isn't it? So we could hear in the next couple.
Could be this week. Could be this week.
Didn't they say they were going to announce it?
Early July, they said.
Before the league started back, no?
No, before the season finishes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, let's be serious. They're not going to.
Obviously, Wolves are still in Europa League as well. So
yeah, so
one game knockout.
Well, they're 1-1 on the first day against Olympiacos, and if I'm
away goal.
They got away goal.
Mm.
Okay, I thought it was Olympiacos for the away goal.
Yeah, they got away goal.
Well, they could win that. I'm not joking. They could win that.
I
actually
think for Man United, our most difficult opponent will be Wolves. Like, Inter's a good team, but with the way we're playing, I would feel we can beat Inter. Wolves always cause us problems. Always, I can't remember the last time we beat them in the replay, the FA Cup. We drew in the first Premier League game. We drew in the second Premier League game, 1-1, 0-0. Drew in the first FA Cup game before we replayed and beat them 1-0. Tough games we play against them, and they're not easy. So, but yeah, they've definitely got a chance. And depending on who gets in the top 4 through the league, they might be more motivated. So if Man United miss out, they might be more motivated to win the Europa League, and vice versa for Wolves. But as far as Man United fixtures go, Aston Villa away. And if Aston Villa pick up something here against Liverpool, as we're recording, I'll be more confident of actually beating them if they pick up something, because it's like it will be a real free hit against Man United if they pick up something. If they lose to Liverpool, Man United is a win or bust for them. It's literally a win or bust. So, as much as I got points for fantasy football, Man United come first. So
listen, you got good days as well. Thursday game is like after a Saturday game at this stage is huge, and then a Monday game as well. So it's
a good rest. We got so Thursday, Monday, Aston Villa away, Southampton at home, Palace away. Now the only problem with this Palace one is that it will come maybe 2, possibly 3 days before the FA Cup. So I was actually hoping for the Wednesday for Villa, Saturday, max Sunday, and then a Wednesday again to give more time for the FA Cup. Well, it is what it is. Not much we can do. I think they're going to have to. Then straight after the FA Cup, we're going to have West Ham at home. But yeah, looking at those 4 fixtures there, the way we're playing, I expect nothing. Southampton game is not going to be easy, but I expect nothing less than 12 points on those 4 games. And then Leicester, the last game of the season. I'm hoping that by the time we've won those 4 games, if we do, the last game of the season is kind of pointless. Like, whatever happens, we'll still be in the top 4. That's what I'm hoping for. Football is a very tricky game. You can never guarantee. But yeah, so look, Cal said Man United, Chelsea. Ramsey, who do you think is going to get 3rd and 4th?
Yeah, I think Man United, Chelsea.
Devon?
Yeah, same thing.
United.
I think Man United, Chelsea.
Man's crossing your fingers. Yeah, I'll back Man United, Chelsea as well. I said I snuck in my little 3rd place couple live streams ago. So we let that
one. Here it is. We'll let
that one sit there, innit? We'll let it sit there. Let it fit, and I'll bring it back if necessary. But
don't worry, if you don't bring it back, I certainly will. So
we know you will. But yeah, the way we got Bruno, Pogba, Rashford, Martial, and now Greenwood in on the goals and the assists and all of that. I mean, at the beginning of the season, it was like our defense was good, but our attack now, the last couple of games, was like, maybe we need to work on defense. So, nothing's perfect, but yeah, I'm confident. We'll get top 4. Not too confident, because last season I was also confident after a massive run under Solskjaer, and all of a sudden, Sarri just pulled out some wins out of nowhere, and Chelsea end up 3rd and a Europa League. So, take one game at a time and keep it moving. Yeah, guys, thanks for joining us on the Neeks Sports Podcast. Let us know all your thoughts in the comments below. Formula One, who's going to challenge Mercedes, and top 4, who do you think is going to make it alongside Liverpool and Manchester City, possibly, if their ban is overturned for the Champions League next year. The link is in the description below for all of, Ramsey and Javern's social media pages. Carl's the incognito when it comes to social media, but of course you can find him here on the Neeks Sports Podcast, and we'll see you next week.